Pastor Julian here with Central's devotion for today. I hope you're doing well. You're in luck. We have a special guest for our devotion today. Some of you may know him from Sesame Street. His name is Cookie Monster.
Cookie! Nom 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 nom. I love cookie. Can I get cookie? I need a cookie! Nom 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 nom.
Cookie Monster. Thank you very much for joining us today for our devotion. It's very nice of you. You always have something wise and practical to share. Cookie Monster. I grew up with him and he was on Sesame Street and he always ate cookies, loved cookies. And then all of a sudden, as I was watching with my kids and they were seeing Sesame Street for the first time, Cookie Monster was eating vegetables. He was eating vegetables all the time. And what happened was that Cookie Monster got blamed for childhood obesity. The kids were watching Cookie Monster eating cookies, and so then Cookie Monster needed to change his diet and start to eat vegetables. And there's nothing wrong with changing your diet from steady cookies to vegetables. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's probably what you should do. But I will say that it's not the Cookie Monster's fault that there is childhood obesity. I think you can chalk that one up to parents who control kids' diets and can say yes and can say no. And it's very hard to say no sometimes. And then, unfortunately, easy meals tend to be the higher calorie meals that are gonna, and fattier meals that are gonna make you heavier. So I wouldn't blame Cookie Monster for obesity. And just like I wouldn't blame Cookie Monster for me being overweight. Right now I'm feeling pretty good. I lost a couple pounds and I've changed some of my eating habits. But for the longest time, I felt like I had Cookie Monster.
Cookie! Nom 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 nom.
I felt like I had him living inside of me. I crave sugar in the morning, I crave sugar in the afternoon, and I crave sugar at night. And sometimes I would hit up some ice cream early in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes at night, sometimes all three times, because I needed to get a sugar fix. I love sweet stuff. But the new diet that I'm on is actually, I stopped eating sugar for the most part, hardly have it at all. And you know what? After I stop eating sugar, I don't crave sugar. I'm able to say no to ice cream, no to donuts. And before, I wasn't really able to say no. It was almost like I couldn't stop it. I just had to have it, like Cookie Monster. Cookie was living inside of me. And that's how a lot of the American diets are. It's tough out there. You have the food seducing you in every corner and every turn that you go. Billboards, you have it on television, commercials, the internet, social media. You go on there, they're making all kinds of super unhealthy food that you see and you're like, I want to make that now at home. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge, especially in our culture, in America, where we are used to having lots of food and lots of consumption and rich consumption of all these things. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. And convenience, we're always on the run. It's almost all the time. The convenient food, the easy food, the quick food is always unhealthy, and it always is fattening and high calorie and not good. So why am I saying all this to you? This is a devotion, right? This is a devotion. I'm saying this to you because I want to take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20. And this is what it says. This is what the Apostle Paul writes in verse 20. He says, "You were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body." I'll repeat that again. "For you were bought with a price, so glorify God in your body." this particular passage, if you look at the context, he's talking about sexual immorality, because that was a real issue at the time, and the habits with that needed to change. But it doesn't change the fact that your body, but your body as well was bought with a price. Your body is supposed to be given to God as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to Him. And we're supposed to, as this says, glorify God in our body. And it's a challenge to do that when it comes to food. A lot of times, God, you can have my spirit, you can have what I do, but you can't have my body, because I can eat and consume whatever I want, whether it's alcohol, whether it's food, whatever it does. I'm going to intake whatever I want to intake because that makes me happy and there's nothing wrong with it. But deep down we know we need to make better decisions with our body to keep it healthy so that we could serve God in a much better way. Now, I'm coming to you as someone who's lost a couple pounds. It's easy when you're coming off a couple pounds. Everybody wants to share how to lose weight and get healthy, and you should do it too, right? And everybody's on a diet, and it's like, oh, okay. It's a struggle all the time. But here's what I want to challenge you to do. I want to challenge you to look at your bodies, not as your own, but as God's. And that includes what you eat and how you deal with it. And there are ways that we can start consuming and eating better stuff and being more intentional about what we put into our bodies and don't put into our bodies. Because our bodies belong to Jesus. He bought them at a price. God bless you and have a great day.
Cookie! Nom 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 nom.